Good morning, evening, afternoon. Mas Sajady here. Welcome to this special edition of Mas on Sunday, which is Life Explained. And on this Sunday, very, very special, we're going to delve into, well, how other mentors, how other teachers that have affected your life teach, and then getting into some of their philosophies. Today, we're going to be talking about Sadhguru, fantastic individual. I was listening to a conversation with him and Matthew McConaughey, and we're going to go through what they discuss about, and then an XI component on it as well. So we're just going to jump right in. As always, if you're new to me, welcome. My name is Mas Sajady. I've had 3 near-death experiences, and well, in an essence, in a nutshell, I just bring in, say, the juiciness of what life is really about. You know, a lot of times people, you know, they slave away, they work hard, they go, if I become successful and if I do this, then I'm going to be happy. But as they go through the process of doing whatever they need to do, you know, getting successful, becoming spiritual, having kids, you know, growing up and all that, they miss the juiciness of what we call life. And then it's like, it's no fun anymore. So what XI does, it brings back that, say, that natural intelligence that you have, that exponential intelligence that you have, that creates wonder, that creates vibrancy as you go through life and you learn to be your best possible self. So I'm gonna play you some clips on this conversation with Matthew McConaughey and Sadhguru, and then I'll just step in and tell you my version of how XI sees it. By the way, the way Sadhguru sees things, again, beautiful man, a lot of great knowledge in there. But here's how Sadhguru sees it. You know, imagine this. Okay, kick back, relax. Again, this is an experiential experience. Imagine this. You've got Sadhguru. He's on top of this hill, right? He's on top of this hill, and he's looking over the valley that you're not seeing because you're down here, and he's on top of the hill, and he's going, wow, there's a really beautiful, it's just gorgeous out here, guys. You have to come and see it. It's beautiful. But you're going, well Sadhguru, I'm down here. I can't see what you're saying. You know, I've got troubles. You know, I have relationship issues. I have work issues. You know, I don't know how to do that. And he's going, well, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's all beautiful. All you have to do is just come up to the top of the hill and understand, you know, and you'll see how grand you really are. But you know, and he drives a motorcycle. He drives a motorcycle, and he's gotten up there, you know, through years of knowledge, through maybe lifetimes of, say, understandings and teachings. He's developed his process of getting on top of that hill faster in this lifetime than most, which is beautiful. But you're riding a tricycle, and you're just pedaling, and you're going, God, you know, I'm trying to get there, Sadhguru, I'm trying to get there. But it's like, and he's going, well, I'm running into this impediment. And then Sadhguru goes, well, you know, from my point of view, you know, all you have to do is this and this and that. But you're going, but from my point of view, I'm still pedaling on this tricycle. So what XI does is combines the two concepts, where you are, where Sadhguru thinks you should be, and you should be there, by the way, and then puts it together to get you out of that tricycle onto, I don't know, Ferrari, a Lamborghini, you know, a motorcycle, whatever it is, so you can have a faster trajectory to see what Sadhguru is seeing. Okay? So this starts to explain, say, the science and the logistics, so you can get to that level of Sadhguru and go, oh, that's what he means when he says that. So here we go. Guys, ready? This is, again, a conversation with Matthew McConaughey and Sadhguru. And again, like I said, I'm going to be stepping in here and there. Just give me a second to set all this up for you. There you go. Where is this now? There we go.
It's about shifting responsibility from heaven to yourself. In this, you become the maker of your own destiny. Now, you just talked on that, but I want to bring up an idea that's something, and my pastor tells me I'm pushing a big rock up a tall, steep hill with this idea I've got. But as a person who likes to play with words, I do as well, I believe that we should be, I'm trying to redefine the word selfish. That being more selfish is actually being more selfless. That being more selfless is actually being more selfish. That we are, we have greater gratification, we have greater joy, we have greater gifts. The more selfish we are, the more individualistic. Now, I know that can go out of hand, and I don't mean when it's at the expense, I don't mean selfish at the expense of excluding a lot of people or making contradictions. But I'm trying to redefine the word selfish.
Let me redefine the selfish for you. See, there is nothing here in your experience without involving yourself. So you do not know life without yourself. Only because you exist, there is life. If you did not exist, what do you know about life? There is simply no possibility. So selflessness is just an idea, a futile idea. The only way you can exist here is selfish. The question is like this, for somebody selfishness means it's all about themselves as an individual. For somebody else, it's for him and his family. For someone else, it's him and his community. For someone else, his selfishness for him and his race or religion or nationality. I'm saying, why are you stingy about your selfishness? Why don't you be absolutely selfish? Why don't you make your selfishness cosmic, at least global? What is it selfishness means? I want to be well, I don't care what's happening to you. Why don't you make your selfishness like this? I want every creature on this planet to be really well. And once you have set this course for yourself, it's not that you're going to solve all the problems, at least you'll be doing your best. And this is all a human being can do. That the question is only about, are you doing everything that you can do or not? Because in our lives, if we do not do what we cannot do, there is no problem. In our lives, if we do not do what we can do, we are a disaster. So my express mission is to see that every human being is doing everything that they can do with a sense of inclusiveness. Selfishness is the only way you can be inclusive. What does selfless mean? What does selfless mean? You'll stop breathing, is it? I'm saying it's just an idea which has never happened. It is just a foolish idea. There is no such thing as selfless because the very basis of your experience is self.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and explain that from an XI perspective. Again, Matthew McConaughey, he's got it on target. For those of you who are XIers, you'll understand it's like, yeah, I should be selfish. In fact, most of you who've gone through the 18-day hyper meditations, you start to become selfish in a way. And I'll explain that why, because selfish in this society is a negative term. It's very negative. And you know, the way Matthew said it, he's right. The way Matthew is trying to describe it is right, and then also the way Matthew is trying to get away from it is right. So in most of today's society, is like you're taking something of somebody else and making it your own. Okay, and that's not the right way. But here's the scientific version, and I just want to draw it out for you, if you don't mind, just so we understand where selfish and selfless comes to be. Okay, and again, a drawing it's just much easier, much better. So your whole concept, this is you, okay, and you are a square, okay, and within the square there's pieces missing, okay, there's pieces missing. You know, you've been, I don't know, you've been abused, you've been shortchanged, you didn't have a great childhood, you didn't have that abundance that you needed to fulfill all your, say, potential, right? You were limited. So you have holes in your identity. Okay, this is the problem. These holes in your identity, you think you're whole, you think you are a complete being, despite the fact that in your frequencies that I can actually see in you through my 3 near-death experiences that I've had, I can literally see, it's like, oh gosh, this person has holes in their frequencies and they're trying to fulfill these holes. They're trying to fill that void up within them. So you meet somebody else, okay? Somebody else. They have, well, a huge hole, gaps everywhere. And this is where the problem comes between two people or two groups or two organizations or two countries or two philosophical beliefs or two religious beliefs or two aliens and humans, whatever you want to call it, two different forms of beings, right? They both want to fulfill themselves because that's their natural cellular, say, programming. It's deep inside you to be complete. That is your only purpose. That is your only mission. So in its pure form, the first principle definition of selfish is to absorb whatever that you need to become a fulfilled person. So instead of this version, which has holes in it, you are a complete being. There is no void in you. You are complete. You are complete to do some of those limitless things that you know that you have and that you are deep inside. It's quite an amazing experience for many of you who have gone through that. And again, for many of you who've gone through like the normal standard of selfishness into this new definition, what I call XI selfishness, it's an amazing feeling, right? Because you're complete, but you also become selfless. Because once you are complete, you're not taking any other person's, you're not taking any other person's piece of the pie. You never did, to be complete, by the way. Because if you do take somebody else's piece of the pie, it'll never feel good to you. Okay? So let me just back up. What people do in normal situations is that this person's X, and then we'll name this person Y. Person Y sees, wow, person X has things that I need. So what they do is, and those things, they do not realize it's a frequency level. They cannot take something that is not theirs, but they can take something physical that's theirs, because that's what it turns into in this reality. At the higher realities, or at the higher levels of consciousness, what you're trying to do is, again, fulfill yourself at a deep level. That person has something that I need. That person knows how to get something that I need. But at a physical level, it turns into, oh, that person has, the perfect spouse that should be mine. That person is living in that house that I should live in. That person, and then what do? You get jealous of them. You start to destroy them because you want to grab whatever they have at a physical level and then like grab this here, this piece, and then make it your own. But since it's not your own, it doesn't feel right to you. That's why coveting somebody else's possessions or anything else doesn't feel right unless it's actually really yours. Okay, so this is where selfishness gets a bad name. What Matthew is talking about, and he's on the right track, is that you become selfish. You become selfish in protecting your space, creating a space around you here that goes, hey, you know what? You're shortchanged, but you can't take any of my frequencies. Now, if you're running short of food or money, sure, I'll give that to you, but I'm not going to give you any of my frequencies. I'm not going to exchange, I'm not going to sacrifice the essence of who I am to benefit you. Because one, that's the number one sin, by the way, because you're giving away something that you cannot give away. It is yours. It dies if you give it away. And if you've given enough away, if you've helped enough people, you'll start to realize that one, and there's a lot of psychological studies, it's called entitlement. Turns into entitlement, by the way. You've given so much of yourself, you sacrificed yourself, especially if you're a parent, right? You've done everything for that child, and then what do? They become entitled. They become, well, pretty much stupid, and they don't follow through in life properly. That's the wrong purpose of, say, giving. So in this scenario, Matthew is absolutely right. Sadhguru is absolutely right, where Matthew is getting onto that point of like being selfish. It's like, hey, wait a second. You're trying to take away the essence of who I am. You can't do that. It's not good for you. It's not good for me. So what you want to do is like, hey, you know what? You're missing something. What is it that you're missing that I can help you with? Yeah, and look at my light. Look at the essence that I am. You might copy my light, but you can't have my light. It's like standing underneath a light, right? You can have one person stand underneath that light, or you can have 1,000 people or 1,000,000 people stand underneath your light. Your light shines still the same. It doesn't get taken away from anything. So in that case, being selfish is the perfect way to be. And that's the first definition. So let me just reiterate the first principle definition of becoming selfish in the XI way. You do not give away your own presence, your own light, something that you've been trained to do since childhood. And this is where it feels really, really bad for those individuals who just give more and more and more of themselves. How many of you have been like that? You give more and more and more and more away, and there's nothing for you. There's nothing for you to give away anymore. And then you feel distraught. And then when you get really old, you get really angry at the world, right? You move away. It's like, gosh, they've taken everything in me. I have nothing more to give, and people want more from me, especially those people who are really, really wealthy. Because again, through your contribution of philanthropy, you've not only given your money away, but you've given yourself away. And that's where selfish, again, on your part, looks bad, and people who take it look bad. So in its first right, in its first principle definition, selfish is the property or the principle of keeping what is supposed to be yours, and not allowing other people and not allowing yourself to take it away. Once you do that, you become selfless. And this is what Sadhguru was talking about. When you become selfless, this is where your light shines, like I said before, and your light just shines no matter how many people stand beside you. And that light goes, wow, they figured it out. So you become selfless. There's no exchange. It's just a remembering. This is where that selflessness comes. It's like, wow, Sadhguru figured it out. Man, I'm impressed with that guy. How did he do it? And then he helps you. He starts to help you remember, going, oh, I'm that same individual. I can climb to those heights as he can. And that's where everybody becomes selfish and then also selfless at the same time. All right, this next topic with Sadhguru and Matthew McConaughey is about setting goals and, well, not being happy, even at Matthew's level, right? It's like, gosh, he's handsome, he's got everything that he needs. It's like, but he's not happy. What the hell is going on? Let's explain.
Ways that I got what I wanted in life. Ways I got what I was seeking. And I was very clear, even going into writing it, about, there have been many things where I've engineered the success, that I have set the goal, that I said where I wanted to go and went to it and attained it as a traveler. Okay? Set goals and go get them. But I was surprised at how many times that I've found and got what I wanted or succeeded when I was looking for what I did not know what the hell I was looking for. When I was like, I'm going to go seek it.
Those are the best times, huh?
Oh, they're awesome. The one-way tickets, you know, with no return ticket to go on a walkabout. Going, I don't know what I'm...
You don't do walkabout in America. You need to go to Australia to do walkabout.
I've done the walkabout in Australia. I've done the walkabout in Mali, Africa, and Peru, the Fugamundi. Yeah. And those times, I got what I needed. But I didn't know what I was looking for. I just put myself in a position to get rid of all the frequencies that I was having in my Western world and my busy life. I wanted to go someplace where nobody knew my name, where I didn't speak the language, where time was going to run way too slow for me until I got on time, and then all of a sudden realized that, oh, I feel the rhythms of this place. I'm enjoying my own company, because those trips for me, the first 12 days, I do not enjoy my own company. Oh,
If you do not enjoy your own company, that means you're in bad company, obviously.
Well, it takes 12 days. I had to, I think there's a value if you don't enjoy your own company to go, oh, that's why I need to spend more time with myself then, so we can work it out, because I'm the one person that I can't get rid of, so let's work this stuff out. But after about 12 days, on around the 16th day, around the 12th day, I have a breakthrough where I'm like, okay, I've shaken off my demons, I've pulled off my talismans, I'm a naked child. And that's when all of a sudden, boom, an answer comes, and I'm light, and I've shed certain guilt, and I'm present much, and I'm not looking around the bend to see what's coming. I'm not looking over my shoulder to judge where I've been. But I guess my point is, we're all, sometimes we don't know what we're looking for, but we go find it. You talk about seeking the unknown, but to put ourselves in a place, do you think there's a value about put yourself in a place so you can hear it? Put yourself in a place so you can receive it.
See, people keep coming to me and say, Sadhguru, please bless me, this should happen, that should happen. I tell them, see, my blessing is, may all your dreams not come true. They get shocked. I said, Sadhguru, why? Says, see, what can you dream of? Right now, I don't know what you're drinking, suppose it's coffee. If you have had 1 cup of coffee, maybe you will dream of a barrel of coffee. If you have $1 million, maybe you'll think of $1 billion. I'm saying all your dreams are just exaggerations of what you already know. If you go like this, you're ensuring that nothing new ever happens to you. So my blessing is, may your dreams not come true. May things that you could never dream of happen to you. If you have to be an open possibility like this, it's very important that we understand, that is why karma is important. Karma means it's the bedrock of your memory. It's the bedrock of your memory means who you are right now as a person. Matthew as a person, as a physical person, as a mental person, as an emotional person, and even as an energetic person, it is a certain volume of memory. Here there…
All right, so let's go ahead and explain it the XI way. And I'm going to be using some drawings here. So let's see if we can bring this out for us. There we go. All right, so this is Matthew. It's a great drawing of Matthew, isn't it? Yeah, so this is what Matthew was talking about, and I pointed out 3 points to him. 3 points that I wanted to remember, that I wanted to share with you on what's happening here. A lot of times, again, people, we lose, like the first example I gave you, selfishness, right? There's a lot of holes in our identity. And we think that, well, if we become a great actor like Matthew, if we become, you know, that romantic comedy guy, it's going to be great for us. But as Matthew found out, hey, doing romantic comedy isn't the greatest thing, right? He lost his identity. So he went towards his other acting careers, doing some, again, great movies. But still, again, it's not his thing. Because why? It's not that he's not good at it. It's because he added on to himself. He needed to remove those things that stopped him from being himself. And here's the key, and this is where the drawing comes in from. Okay, he's got holes. Okay, and the holes don't matter. It's just holes in his identity, in his personality. There could be holes in his head, could be holes here in his leg, his feet, his arms, whatever. These are frequency holes. Okay, and by the way, these holes are void of energy, and this turns into diseases and so on like that. So they are important, but in this case, they're just examples. Okay, they're not according to Matthew's, say, frequencies. I'm just drawing holes for example. So what we do, he's got holes all over the place, and this is how most people think. This is how billionaires, and this is what Sadhguru was going. You know what? If I have a cup of coffee, I'm going to dream about a barrel of coffee. If I have $1 million, I'm going to dream about $1 billion, and that's going to satisfy me. But here's why it doesn't, and here's why it's detrimental. It's not that $1 billion isn't good for you, like most people think. People will move away from the wealth, and then they'll move into spirituality, which isn't the best either. Because the problem is not the $1 billion or moving towards spirituality. Is it this way or that way? It's about fulfilling the void that's deep within you. It's about fulfilling the void that is not you. You are a mixture of your parents. Your parents were a mixture of their parents, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So by the time it got to you, there are millions of people that had to have been around to create who you are. So you're a rendition of millions of people. Again, by about, say, 12 generations back, there would have had to have been over 4,000 individuals that would have had to have sex to create you. 12 generations back. That's a lot of genetics that is not you. And with each generation, we do not clean up our genetics like nature does, or like animals do. Animals and nature, they clean up. It's like, okay, let's take the best from grandpa and then grandpa and grandma, and then release everything behind, and we'll take the best and move forward. Humans don't do that. So again, you are a complete version of all the people before you. Okay? You are trying to fix that. It sounds kind of crazy, but just hear me out. You're trying to fix that, and this is where all your holes are. This is like, gosh, and then what we do, because we've grown up in society, it's like, well, you know what? If I become a famous actor, then these holes will be resolved. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an acting class, and then this is acting class. I'm going to make some more money, and then you put more stuff on top of you. More stuff on top of you. It doesn't complete the holes that you have. It just adds more stuff on top of you. And then when you look at your reflection in this mirror, the self-identity of who you are, you're seeing all the things that you're not. One, you're seeing all the things that you got from your parents that you're going, what the hell? That's not even me. And then now you've added more stuff in your own, say, spice of life, like an acting career, which could be successful or not, or more money, which could be successful or not, or a spiritual adventure, which could be fantastic or not. It's not the point about being good or bad for you. It's just that it's not you. The way you do it is not you. So when you see your reflection, you're going, fuck, it's not me. What the hell's going on? So then Matthew, he takes a journey, right? Wherever it was, he takes a journey, and he starts to see that he doesn't enjoy his company. Aha! This is where it becomes really, really interesting. This is where I talk about, again, spatial referencing. You don't have to take a walkabout in Australia or Africa or wherever. You can do it on the 18-day hyper meditations that we do. This is exactly the same process that Matthew went through. He went through a period. He did it in 12 days. We do it in less than 6, actually, in the 18-day hyper meditations. And again, like I said, you don't have to go anywhere. You just listen to the hyper meditations and just transform. You start to spatial reference, and you start to go, wait a second, this shit's not mine. This is not mine. My acting career is not mine. I didn't create it. I didn't make it my own. I just added another chunk on top of me. That's why it doesn't feel good. That's why on the outside it might look good, but on the inside it devastates you because again, you're carrying another burden for yourself. So what happens on Matthew's 12 days, basically, he starts to move away or clean up, as you can see, all the stuff that's not his. As you can see on this chart, he becomes clear. He becomes clearer and clearer, and he starts to have a clear identity. Now, he didn't go as far as we do on the hyper meditations. Again, he becomes a clear being, a clear knowing of who he is. In the XI hyper meditations and the sessions that we do, we literally clean up your genetics, where you do not have to age like your parents. You don't have to get disease like your parents in society. That's how far you can go. So in the 12 days, Matthew's going, shit, this is a clear version of me. When you're running a clear version of you, you start to resonate. You start to harmonize with nature. And this is the closest thing. You start to harmonize with your grandest, best self that you can be. Again, because you're in present moment time. When you're in present moment time, you're in the power state. When you're in a power state, you are naturally remembering who you really are, a limitless being. And with Matthew's ability to materialize, it's like, damn, Matthew, you figured yourself out. And then, boom, something clicks in for him. Something clicks in for him, and this is where things take off for him in the proper way. And instead of destroying himself like his career did, and he talks about it quite a bit, it's not me saying it, it's like, gosh, how many of you known actors that go, shit, you know what, I made a successful career, maybe that's you, right? You made a successful career, and it's like, damn, I lost myself. What the hell happened? Especially women. They go, Mas, I don't know what the hell happened. I don't feel like a woman anymore. This is the exact reason why you do not want to do that. You want to resonate. One of the three things that you want to do. One, you start to understand what's you and what's not you. Right down to your behaviors, your eye color, and so on like that. Okay? If you're looking at yourself and you're going, you know what? My face doesn't look like me. It probably isn't. You probably inherited from your grandma, your grandfather, or whoever else, right? Whatever it is, whatever you feel, that's not you. Sometimes at this stage, people might not like themselves. It's a good thing, just like Matthew. He basically didn't enjoy his company because he realized that that's not him. It is not him. It was another rendition, an accumulative total of what his parents thought of him, what society thought of him, what his experiences thought of him, but it wasn't him. It might have been a good experience or a bad experience. It doesn't matter. The point is, it wasn't his identity. So as he cleaned up by resonating and harmonizing with frequencies, harmonizing in the rhythm of nature, harmonizing in the rhythm of, say, Earth, harmonizing in the rhythm of the planetary time and space, harmonizing in the universal time and space, you start to become congruent. You start to become linear. I would call it singularity. And this is what Matthew experienced for a bit. Now, I can keep him in that state, by the way, and that's what you want. You want to stay in that state. And then when you stay in that state, you find more and more of yourself. And the experiences that you have in the outer world, being an actor, enjoying enjoying Africa, enjoying whatever that you do, enjoying helping people, becomes an expansive experience for you guys. It's an amazing experience. So I'm not telling you not to do X, Y, or Z on the outer self, on the outer, on the outer environment. But what I'm telling you to do first, just like Matthew did, is like learn about yourself. Learn who you are. Remove those things that you're not. You have to remember that you are that limitless being. You always were. You always were, and you always will be. Okay? Once you come back and once you harmonize with that state, like Sadhguru was saying, what Matthew is getting into, realizing that aha moment, it's like, damn, that's where it is. But the key is, how do you maintain that space? That's the key. That's where becoming exponentially intelligent really helps you. And once you do that, your acting career or helping others or doing whatever becomes a beneficial for you. Not just for you. As you shift, your light shines. And as your light shines, you help your loved ones. Your loved ones help their loved ones, and so on and so on. And this is where we transform the world. All right? This example is about not having enough. No matter how much you have, people have never enough. And Sadhguru, I can't say it any better. Sadhguru says it the best. So let's listen in, and then we'll give you the exercise science behind on why people never have enough. Here we go. Ready?
Nobody has enough in this world, yes or no? When I have a glass of water, I am not willing to share it with the person sitting next to me. Why do you expect a man who has $1 billion to share it with somebody? I'm asking. When you are not willing to share the little things that you have a philosophy. Why are the rich people not sharing it with the poor people? They will not. Because your argument is, but I don't have enough. But even they don't have enough. They may have $100 billion, but they don't have enough. That's what you need to understand. This is the nature of human being. You may think they have too much, but they don't have enough. As you don't have enough, nobody has enough in this world. Yes or no? Yes. Nobody has enough in this world. Yes or no?
All right, so let's explain what Sadhguru was saying. And again, I'll draw it out for you, it's so simple. It goes back to the selfishness space, okay? You're here. You're this square, you've got pieces missing, okay? You've got pieces missing that you need to fulfill. Your whole trajectory in life. If you've ever wondered what your life purpose is about, it's just this. It's to be a fulfilled human being. It's to be and understand who you are in physical form as a spiritual being. So let me say that again. It's for you to realize that you are a spiritual being experiencing itself in full form physically. Okay? So, but most people, they have holes. They have voids in their being, their lack of self-identity. This is where the problem occurs. So when a billionaire has, I don't know, $1 gazillion, doesn't matter. You can add as many zeros that you want. And I'll give you something about this as well. They'll never have enough, and you go, well, shit, they've got so much money, they could supply the whole earth and, nobody would be on the streets. They won't. Neither will you. Just like he was saying, somebody has a glass of water, you won't share it with somebody else. Why? Because that glass of water you think is something that is going to fulfill who you are. But you drink that glass of water, and this is you with $1. Neither one will have enough. Okay? In Sadhguru's example, he is absolutely right. He's saying, you have a glass of water, you drink that water, and you think you're fulfilled, but then you're empty again. You go, damn, I don't have enough. It's the same person with that billion, the million, that billion or $1 trillion. It's like he starts to, accumulate more mass, more money, and is like, shit, I don't have enough. I'm still empty inside. Because he looks into the vault of who he is, his identity, his essence of who he is as a spiritual being. And he goes, damn. In fact, the more money that people make, the more that you've sacrificed to create happiness for others, to create happiness for your family, to create wealth for yourself, to save the world, the more that you've destroyed yourself. So you're not only holes, but now you literally have pieces of you that are just simply gone. You are gone. You're not a complete being all in itself. So the more money you make, the more you practice spirituality the wrong way. Again, by serving others, by giving of yourself and destroying your own essence. Shouldn't do that. Again, it sounds strange, it sounds crazy, but look at all those individuals who sacrificed themselves. Look at you who've sacrificed yourself for helping others to try to be spiritual, and where has it gotten you? You look inside and you go, gosh, you know what? I'm broken, I'm tattered, I'm shattered, I'm no closer. And I feel more sinful in front of God's eyes to go, I'm not complete. I'm too embarrassed to walk in the front of God and go, God, here I am, tattered and shattered and torn, but you made me a complete being. Do you see why? Because you gave your essence away. The more you sacrifice yourself to find happiness in physical terms or in spirituality, the more you destroy the thing that you want. I was going to say covet. Now, covet is a good word if you do it right, and we'll explain the deep or the first principle definitions on this new podcast season coming up, from good to great to limitless, so watch out for that. But the key here is that the reason why people don't have enough is because they've sacrificed themselves, no matter for how little, a glass of water or billions of dollars. They gave away, they exchanged. The trade that they did was their essence of who they are. When you're teaching your kids, when you're loving your kids, when you're sacrificing for your kids, what do? When you're sacrificing yourself for your country, if you don't believe me, look at the war veterans. They gave honor. They sacrificed themselves for their countries, no matter what country. They come back mentally unstable, destroyed, destructive. Their political leaders don't take care of them, no matter what country that is, right? Because they lost the presence of who they are. Because they've lost the presence of who they are, and it's not their fault, it is everybody's fault, they create a reality that they're incomplete or distorted. So what you want to do, where you want to have enough, is, again, fill in these holes. Understand why you have these holes in the first place. Create yourself as a complete being by resonating and harmonizing with who you are, by eliminating those genetic patterns that are not you, the pains and hurts of what your forefathers went through, the sacrifices that your forefathers went through. Just because your forefathers went through, and I'll just go a little deeper for you, okay? And this is how it all works. Okay? So say for example, your forefathers, your great grandfathers was in war or in famine, right? So they went through that process. They didn't have money, so they had to sacrifice. Okay? That sacrifice, well, they survived. If they didn't, you wouldn't be here. So in their genetic coding, that sacrifice pattern is installed in your genetic coding. And it's like, oh, we have to sacrifice in order for us to survive. So despite you being in a thriving economy where food and opportunities are plentiful, you run a pattern of sacrifice because that was the genetic patterning that made you survive in the past. Your gene structure or your DNA hasn't, say, caught up to that idea that, wait a second, we don't have to sacrifice. But you're still running sacrifice. So what do? You sacrifice for your job. You sacrifice for your loved ones. You sacrifice for your country. You sacrifice for your God. You sacrifice for defining who you are, and on and on and on and on. And that's why no matter how much you have, since you sacrificed the most precious thing that you've got, it's never going to be enough. And that's why humans feel like they never have enough. But you can turn it around. You complete yourself. You become present. You harmonize with the abundance of, again, the universal frequencies through what we do, exponential intelligence. There's many other ways, but again, exponential intelligence is just very well set for you. It gives you the 1, 2, 3 steps on getting you to your best possible self as fast as possible. You harmonize with yourself, your natural abundance comes in, and then you're not sacrificing yourself for the glass of water or for, the millions or billions of dollars. That's just a reference point of how brilliant you are. That's a reference point of how much you've found yourself. And that is the key to having an abundant life. This is Mas Sajady. Thanks for being here on Mas on Sunday. I look forward to seeing you on next time, where we can do impact sessions, where we'll get down to the exact point on why somebody's life is not going the way it is, and then what they can do about it. By changing their frequency, you can change your life. As always, notice what you notice, and notice the details of what you're noticing. Peace.